who said that he seemed to know who the different ministries. He watches Christian television late at night. He kind of knew who they were. They were dumbfounded. He's a very, very smart man.
You know, you're the head of the civil rights for the unborn.
Oh, Alveda, I love
now,
that.
You almost have to vote for the Republican platform.
You really do.
Because that's the only platform that stands up for the rights of the unborn.
That is true. That is true.
It's not to be a Democrat or Republican. You know, I don't like divisions. I don't like being divided. But I'll tell you what. The final thing with me was on the election. I could not stand for killing, what was it? Is it 60 million now, honey?
About 60 million.
It's a little over that now because every year
it's going up.
$365 million goes to Planned Parenthood every year. President Trump is working on. As a matter of fact, they are moving into budgets, and when you see budgets being cut, you think that he's against poor people and all that. But those dollars are also tagged to Planned Parenthood.
It's the media says that. They accuse him.
The media will accuse him. But what he's doing is following the trail that is killing Americans rather than serving Americans. And he is cleaning the swamp with that. Then he'll come back with healing budgets. For instance, welfare, for instance, without workfare, helping people to work and come up, keeps giving people money to get abortions, to get pregnant, to do all that. So you come back and say, hey, go to school, get a job, and we'll still help you. And then you won't have to be pregnant and not able to raise your children and et cetera. So going through that budget and eliminating the secret dollars that are going to killing the public, as Father Frank Pavone, Priest for Life, says, killing the public instead of serving the public.
Right.
And that's what the president is doing.
That is so brilliant.
That's what
I love this man more every day for that reason.
You've got to read Alveda King's new book. This is a member of the King family.
This is Martin.
You don't have to believe a lot of lies.
Not only that,
they said Martin Luther King had not heard from God. It's in the book. It is written. The family knows it. He said it. The quotes are everywhere.
And she lived in the same home with him.
In the birth home. I lived
until
in the birth
you were
home.
12 years old. I mean, she knows this family inside and out.
Yes.
You know, the King family has come together, and this lady, just like some of you kids are going to be my heirs, I hope, and you already are. Lori and I were on a sabbatical. The kids took over. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Forgive me, kids. Most people loved it. But to have this amazing thing is the Bakker family. And this is the King family. And this
that's why we put the family portrait right here on the book.
And I don't think you heard what Alveda said, Jim. This is Alveda's strongest book. She told this to me back in the green room. It's her best book yet.
It's different.
And it's published by Charisma House.
That's awesome.
That's why it's
I was
got
thinking
Holy
you
Ghost
weren't going to mention that.
spin to it.
No, I wanted to do a
take
true
my book?
confession. When I began to write this, and I take pleasure in saying I'm a good writer, I'm a journalist and all that, I was a little bit mean to your staff because they would say, are you sure? And where was that? And what is the citation? So one day I said, well, yeah, I said it. And then I had to call back and say, thank you for asking me. The discipline and precision that was applied to causing this book to come to pass has the weight of Charisma House behind it.
And I want you to get on the phone, go to the website, and I want you to order the whole set. This is for $35 is what you pay for a good book.
Yeah.
But you're getting 4 articles in here. But I want to say this about this book and about Alveda King. Alveda King is heir to a mantle from heaven.
She really is.
And she has decided to follow Jesus.
Yes.
Yes, she has a family heritage.
Yeah, you really
But her family were preachers.
Yes.
Come on, people.
Yes,
This modern generation is trying to beat up the preachers, trying to beat up the gospel. And this woman is her inheritance comes from the gospel.
Right.
That Martin Luther King was a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yes, your
and
granddad.
granddads and dads.
A.D. King, my dad, A.D., my granddaddy, Daddy King, the women and men of our family.
But here's the thing,
love the Lord.
and people say, well, women aren't going to be used.
Oh.
Women can't preach.
Yes, we do.
You miss.
This woman can preach.
Oh, yeah, she
Listen,
can.
we've messed up the Bible. You take one part that has something to do with, really, there was a wall down this church, and they were told not to, to wait till you get home to talk to your husband or your wife. But what is the last day message? In the last days, I'm going to pour out my spirit upon all flesh, your sons, your daughters, the maidens, people.
Yeah.
God has called this woman.
That's right.
And I'm standing for you right now.
Yes.
Because God has called her to be a voice.
Yes.
And God knows we have very few voices that are standing up right now.
That's right.
But this woman, she's not just standing up. She's giving
Have to speak out.
her whole life.
Speak out.
Yes.
She says, if you kill me, I'm not going to turn my back on God. And that's where we got to get to, people, right now.
Yeah.
And so I love you,
Yes.
Alveda.
Let me
Yes.
say something about
I
the
got-
book. I did publish it, so I don't want to sound too promotional.
You
I
can
love all
promote
my
it.
authors. If any of the authors are watching, I love you. I love your book. But I'll tell you, this is one of the best books that we've published in a long time. I read it cover to cover this week, and it covers all the bases.
It really, I'm reading it right
and
now.
it's very
it really
understandable. And she talks about divine submission and divine obedience.
Yes.
And
Divine
prayer.
surrender, divine humility, divine prayer,
Read them all.
And
divine praise and worship, divine prophecy, divine understanding.
That's what this prophecy is, when you hear from God.
Yes.
And you tell it out.
We
That's
do
it.
hear from God. We do.
That's it.
God spoke to me
So
last
good.
night. One thing, and I'm not going to take time.
Okay.
I promise. But he
Can't help
and he
himself.
said,
I'm
"Go."
sorry, Alveda.
And he said,
It's okay.
Please
go
forgive
open.
me.
for it.
Okay.
He said, go open a book.